Yo, you know what's funny is I haven't promoted this podcast at all. Like, not on my Instagram or anywhere at all. And I have 0 subscribers at the time of filming this. Dude, I cannot wait until like one day I just like post it like, hey guys, for the past 4 weeks I've been doing this podcast. Here it is. And everybody's going to start like funneling toward it. So I'm excited to see that. I don't know. I just think it's funny. Nobody knows. Nobody knows yet. Nobody knows. I don't even know what I'm going to. Maybe after this episode, when this episode comes out, maybe I'll post something. I don't know. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the Logan Allen podcast. Yeah, we're back, baby. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. Also, the lighting might look a little weird because I'm in a dark room right now, and I turned off the main light, and I just have my like studio lights. So it's either gonna look really cool or really stupid. And I can see myself right now on the camera, and it looks cool. But that doesn't mean in post and editing it's going to look good. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, man, welcome back to the podcast, episode 2, week 2. People are texting me, and I didn't turn my phone off. So unprofessional. So unprofessional, Logan. A lot of fun stuff that we need to dive into. Super, super excited. So, of course, we're going to have our college football segment. It's going to be at the end. We're going to be reviewing week 2. Crazy week 2, just upsets everywhere, big things happening, so we're obviously going to get to that, but before we do, baby, we're going to talk some Halloween Horror Nights. Obviously that started about a week ago, I believe, about a week ago, and I actually got passes to it, baby. Yes sir. We were going to go tonight, and then I realized that because I got the frequent fear pass, so I can go like, I think it's like 30 nights, right? But you just can't go Fridays or Saturdays for sure. But I didn't know there's blackout dates, which I should know because I have Universal annual passes, and you have the blackout dates when you can't go. And Disney has the same thing. Every theme park does. They have it tonight. So me and my boys are planning to go. We're so excited. We're ready to do it. And then they're like, hey, bye. And one of my boys, thankfully, looked at it. And I remember seeing it now. But he looked at it and was like, oh, yeah, we can't go. He just put it in the group chat, and we're all like, wow, we should have saw that. So I guess I need to pay attention on when I can go now. But they advertise it as like from Sunday nights to Thursday nights, and I'm like, don't advertise that if you're going to have blackout dates. But they say it in the fine print, blackout dates don't apply. So stupid. But there's still 30 nights that we can go. So I'm going to be hitting up for sure every house this year. I try to go. Last year was my first time to Halloween Horror Nights since 2015, I think, or 2014, I think, around there. And it sucked. I'm a huge horror fan. As you can see, I love horror, right? Creepshow. Love Creepshow. I was in it. Had a great time. But, for some reason, I never went. And we always had tickets to Universal. My dad worked at Universal growing up. We just never really went, except for that 2015, 2014 year when they had the Halloween house. And it was in the tent. And it was from the 1978 Halloween movie, which is my favorite horror movie of all time. And, dude, that was an incredible house. And to this day, people say it's one of the best Halloween Horror Night houses of all time. And it was good, dude. It was, and I remember walking out. They had a guy dressed up as Michael. There was a Michael at the end. So you'd walk out of the tent thinking you're good. And, oh, my God, that was crazy. Then they would jump out at you one more time, dude. Bro, crazy stuff. So that was a really fun house. So we're going to go and dive into that and dive into the houses this year. Now that I'll be able to hit every house up. Last year when I went, we just did the 6:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. Run like, some people do. Mostly everybody leaves by 12. But I did the day pass, and I was like, I'm getting my money out of this. So we stayed until the very end. And when if you go to, I'm not trying to like get the secret out there, right? But past 1 a.m., everybody leaves. I mean, we did like 4 houses in 15 minutes. The one house I didn't do last year was the weekend house. But I think I pretty much did every other house except for the weekend house. Like I said, we hit like 4 houses or 3 houses in 15 minutes after 1 a.m. So it was dope. We had a really fun time with it. We're one of the last groups there, so that was really fun. I feel like one of my favorite houses from last year, Halloween, was dope. I love Halloween. I like when they do the tent, though. It feels more cramped, and I like that feeling. But it was the pirate one. That one was dope, dude. It reminded me a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney, the ride there. Because remember in the ride where everything just opens up and you're in the battle in between the two people, or between like the ship and like the shore? That's kind of what it was in the actual in the house, dude. You would be all cramped up going through these little tunnels or whatever, and then it would just open up because you're in a sound stage in this huge area, and you would just see pirate. It was such a dope experience, dude. That was probably one of my favorite houses I've ever done at Halloween Horror Nights, even though I've only been there 2 times. But it was cool. I had a good time with that. So we're gonna kind of go through the houses here, see what we got, and once in October, once we reach October, I'm gonna be ranking all the houses because even though the passes go through, I believe November 2nd, because we have the whole last, I believe, weekend that I can go as well for my passes. I should be able to do all the houses obviously by the end of October, so we're gonna be ranking the houses later on. But I believe there's 8 houses, like there always is. I'm gonna go through each one, talk about it. Talk about which ones I'm most excited for and what I think we should expect, baby. Also, look, all right, I don't eat fast food all the time, I promise. This is just two podcast episodes in a row I get Chick-fil-A before. And that's because, God, I can't drink soda all of a sudden. And that's because there's a Chick-fil-A. Literally, I can pretty much see the Chick-fil-A from my studio. So it's like, it's tempting, okay? I'm sorry. I have to. It's one of those things I have to. So yeah, the Chick-fil-A is right there, which is not good. So let's go through the houses. The first one we have is Stranger Things 4 that tried to escape the curse of Vecna. Pretty cool. Looks good. Looks exciting. I'm on the website right now, and it's not letting me scroll down. But we can just kind of do the description for each one. You'll need your squad to resist Vecna's gruesome curse. Like 11, now's your chance to stop him once and for all as you take on the scariest season of Stranger Things yet. I don't agree. Dude, I think season 1 of Stranger Things was terrifying. And I think it's the best season. I think season 1 of Stranger Things is one of the best seasons of any show ever. I'm just going to go on a limb and say that. Even though it's not big and crazy and it's not like it's not all in your face with like blockbuster type feels, I like the creepiness and the eeriness and the deserted feel, I guess is the right way to put it. You know what I mean? You almost feel hopeless. You feel like you don't have anybody to reach out to. You feel like these characters are in this very small town and they don't have people to reach out to, and I like that. As the seasons go and go and go, it becomes bigger, and it's cool, it's scary, but it's a very different type of scary. I like more of that atmospheric type scare, and you just don't have that in the newer seasons. I love Stranger Things. I love season 4. I was in it. You know what I mean? I love the show. And had a great time being on it. I just feel like season 1 is just so good. It's just, it's incredible. Excited for that. When I went in 2014, 2015, obviously they didn't have the house because Stranger Things came out in 2016. But I know they've done Stranger Things a couple times now, quite a bit. Pretty much every time a season comes out. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it. Should be fun. We'll see. We'll see. That one's definitely going to be the one that I'm going to hit, probably at like 1 a.m. because everybody and their brother is going to go straight there. Next one we have is The Exorcist, The Believer, baby. This is based off the new movie coming out, which I am super excited for. Obviously, the strike's going on, so I can't really talk about it too much. But big shout out to Lydia, who is in the movie. She's a friend of mine and is an incredible actress. So really excited for her. Congratulations on that. It's called Exorcist, Believer, and Evil Reawakened. 2 missing girls have been found with no memory of what happened to them, but wherever they went, the ultimate evil returned with them, entering the most terrifying scenes from the new Blumhouse film. That's what I don't get. So the movie isn't out, but there's scenes from the movie in, just very weird. I hope they don't spoil anything. I'm excited to go watch the movie and then like actually be in the like haunted house. So it's gonna be cool. I'm a big fan of The Exorcist. I love The Exorcist and excited for this new entry, and I'm excited for the new house. The Last of Us. Once again, obviously, The Last of Us came out this year, the new show. Step into the world of The Last of Us. You and your squad will encounter the haunting and overgrown world of the video game in a brand new terrifying way. Stay silent if you want to survive a multitude of clickers, hunters, and more. I played a little bit of the first Last of Us, didn't play the second one, didn't watch the show. So I'm not a big Last of Us fan. The zombies are just very weird, kind of out there. Not really my type of thing. But it's based off the video game, not really the show, which is cool. And I like that the characters that voiced the characters in the video game came back and did the voiceover for the haunted house. So that's really cool. I'm excited to kind of see what they do with that. I'm definitely going to hit this one up. This one, actually, after we talk about these, I want to go through some of the rankings online because a lot of them have The Last of Us at the bottom, which is very interesting. Chucky, ultimate kill count. We got Chucky House, which is pretty cool. Chucky's back for even more carnage, baby. Chucky, the serial killer doll, is back for a new gore fest. He's hijacked his own haunted house with all kinds of bloody hijinks. You and your friends must try to survive his ultimate kill count, baby. It's cool. I've never been a huge Chucky fan. I do like the Chucky movies. I like the Child's Play movies. But I just never was like a huge Child's Play fan. I know they have the show out right now, season 2, I think, coming out, which is why, of course, it's relevant and why they're doing this house. It's cool. It's cool. I'm excited to see what they do with it. It's definitely cool. I'm gonna hit up all these houses, but that one's definitely toward the top of my my anticipated ones for show. Now we kind of start getting into the ones, because is that what they usually do with the houses? Is they usually have like the big ones, and then they kind of have like, they have like the 4 or 2 or 3 like huge names, and then they kind of have the cool ones that are like more underground, which sometimes are better than the actual big ones. So we're gonna kind of go through these next 6 that are kind of more of the chill ones. Universal Monsters Unmasked. 4 Universal Monsters, 1 new nightmare. Well, it looks like they have Werewolf, the Hunchback guy. Oh, okay, they tell you right here. Descend into the Paris catacombs, where you and your squad will face a new horde of monsters. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Phantom of Opera, and the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the Invisible Man. That's cool. So I know the Invisible Man and the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of Opera. I know Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What is that from? Sounds familiar. It's cool. I like when they do the Universal Monsters. I think they do the Universal Monsters every year. It seems like they do, which is dope. It's always cool to get in there and see some of like the most iconic horror villains of all time, and I'm excited to see what they do with that one. That one's actually pretty high up on my list. And of course, we have Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. Dr. Oddfellow was like the new big name. I think last year it was Jack the Clown. Now we got Dr. Oddfellow. Your soul is a price he's willing to pay. You won't be able to resist going inside Dr. Oddfellow's menacing menagerie. I had a stroke there. Of twisted oddities. But the price you and your friends is steep. But the price for you and your friends is steep. The cost of your souls to feed his immortal power. Yeah, it looks like Oddfellow. Is he like a clown? Is that going to be a clown one? I think that might be a clown one. I think. I don't know. We'll see kind of what happens. That one doesn't really pop out at me. Now we have Dueling Dragons. Choose thy fate. No matter who you choose, you lose. 2 warlocks of great power were turned into dragons after trying to take Merlin's spellbook. Now you and your friends are caught in their epic battle. You must choose a path and a victor. Now, that's really interesting. The choose thy fate. I think this is a house where you can go like 2 different ways. Like there's like a path. You can either go left or right, which is dope. I like that. And if that's actually I don't know if they've ever done that before. I've never been in a house like that. If that's something that's actually, there's no way it's not. If that's in this haunted house, I'm hyped. That goes automatically to my top 3. I'm excited to one day go left and then the other day go right. That's going to be dope. I like that a lot. I'm excited for that. Very unique idea. And Dueling Dragons. And I like the premise too. It's pretty dope. Another one I'm very excited for. This is probably top 5. Yeti Campground Kills, dude. This is dope. Yeti or not, here they come. That's That's pretty cringe. You and your friends are about to venture into a 1950s campground overrun by huge menacing yetis who rip apart anyone who gets in their way. You must flee to the Ranger Tower to escape. That is dope. So I think this this haunted house has the opportunity to be one of the coolest environments. Kind of like how the pirate one was last year. I think the pirate environment and pirate type atmosphere was like probably the best one there. This one has that same kind of feel to it. I believe, and we're going to look at the map, but I believe the Yeti one is a soundstage, kind of like back by Jimmy Fallon and stuff. And if that's the case, that means it's a soundstage one and not a tent. And it needs to be a soundstage one. You can do it like an open area in the woods. You can do some really, really cool stuff with this. I'm very excited to see what they do with the Yeti one. The darkest deal. Fame is fleeting. Fear is forever. I cannot speak now. Blues musician Pine Straw Spruce will have to face the music after meeting with the collector and trading his soul for musical glory. You and your squad learn the terrible price of fame. It's interesting, right? We'll see where that goes. Definitely not one that jumps out at me. And then Blood Moon, Dark Offerings. Bleed for the Blood Moon. I'm assuming this has something to do with like werewolves, vampires. In a colonial-era village, moon worshippers witness a blood moon at their fall festival. They take it as a sign to hunt down any non-followers, including you and your Scream Squad. Never mind. So it's a cult. That's dope. I like that a lot. That's actually, they could, once again, so that's probably going to be a tent. They can do some really cool stuff with that. I like that a lot. So there you go. Those are the, I believe, 8, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's 10. There's 10 houses. There's the 10 houses. Really dope. I like that a lot. I'm excited to get to all these. The ones, like I said, my top 3 that I'm probably anticipating the most is probably The Exorcist, the Yeti, and the Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate, because you go off in different directions. I'm excited to see what they do with it. It's going to be dope. I'm excited. Now, I want to go find the map to see what about, maybe. I want to see like where the houses are. Event map. There we go. All right. So Exorcist, Stranger Things. So Exorcist is B, Stranger Things is C. Okay, so Exorcist is okay, and then Blood Moon. Wow. They gave Blood Moon, that's not a tent then. Blood Moon's an actual sound stage, which is super interesting. What's D and E? D, Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate. And Yeti is a studio. Okay, so Yeti's a studio, or like a sound stage. That's dope. And then Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate is obviously a sound stage because you go off in different directions. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Chucky is a sound stage. Or no. Chucky's over there, so Chucky is going to be a tent, I believe. Or is it? I know exactly which one. I know exactly which one the Chucky is in. I remember not last year, but when I went in 2015, they had the Chucky one. Or not Chucky one, sorry. They had a haunted house in the place where Chucky is now. I think it's a studio or a sound stage, though. I remember going to that one, though, very, vividly. So, okay, Twisted Origins looks like it's going to be a tent. The Darkest Deal, tent. And Last of Us is a tent? Whoa, okay. And Universal Monsters Unmasked is a tent. That's interesting. That's okay. And then the scare zones, we got, I believe, 5 of them. Dr. Oddfellow's Collection of Horrors, Vamp 69, Summer of Blood, Vampire one, that's cool. Shipyard 32, Horrors Unhinged, Jungle of Doom, Expedition Horror, and Dark Zodiac. So what's L? L is the vampire, okay. And then K is Dr. Oddfellows, that's the beginning. O is Dark Zodiac. N is Jungle of Doom. And then you have O. Or wait, M. Where's M? M, which is Shipyard. Okay, that's cool. I miss. Remember that one year that they did there was no scare zones. It was all scare zone. I don't think I ever went that year, but it looked dope. I don't know why they don't do that. All right, so that's it. The rides and everything. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to dive into it. Like I said, I'm gonna do a ranking at the end after I do all the different houses, and I'll let you guys know. Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to look up the ranking of the houses that people are doing. So hold up. Let's see what people are saying. 2023 HHN houses ranked. I want to see what people are saying. We want HHN Orlando. Whoa, Hollywood has Evil Dead Rise. That is crazy. All right, here we go. Collider ranked him. Collider can be a little rough with the ranking sometimes, though. Choose Thy Fate is last? What? Okay. Fire and ice jump out of you if some most spectacular. Okay, cool. The promise of different endings is a bit disappointing. There's not quite enough to I know the word. I can't say it. Hold up. Differentiate. Did I say that? Or I think I said. I'm just gonna keep going on. We're gonna keep going. The 2 pass enough to make visitors want to go multiple times. Okay. Yeah, but it's still. We'll see. Darkest Deal. Okay, I expected this one to be a little lower. Oddfellows Twisted Origins. Universal's Monsters Unmasked. Really? Blood Moon Dark Offerings. That was kind of high. Yeti Camp. Come on, bro. Undeniably stunning the Yeti costumes are. For a lack of better term, it's campy. Well, yeah, that's the point. It's supposed to be fun and campy. Chucky's number 4. Stranger Things is 3. Last of Us 2. And then The Exorcist is 1. Ooh, that gets me hype. I'm excited to hear that Exorcist music while I'm walking into the house, bro. It gets you going, baby. Gets you going. I'm excited, man. So tomorrow I'm going to start my classes up, my acting classes. I'm very excited about that. Going to be meeting a lot of people, going to be starting this up. I've been doing some one-on-ones with people, but now I'm going to be actually doing the classes tomorrow. So I'm excited to meet all you guys. Even though none of you are probably seeing this, I'm still excited to meet you guys. This first week, we're not really working on anything. It's more of just kind of fun, more information, getting to kind of know each other. Very informative. Week 1, kind of introduction to the class. But it's going to be a lot of fun, though. I'm excited to meet everybody and to get it going. Like I said, if you guys want to sign up for the classes, it's my Instagram, Allen Studios FL. You just DM me there. Tell me what class you want out of the 3 classes. I have adult in person, adult online, which we actually had a few people sign up for that recently, and then the kids online. The kids in person, sorry. So yeah, go check that out. If you want to sign up for any of those 3 classes, let me know and DM me there. I'll make sure I get you guys on there, baby, on that list. College football time, baby. Woo! Let's get it. I'm excited for this. Let's start with this past week. Week 2 is crazy, man. Let's start out with Vanderbilt and Wake Forest. Your boy had Vanderbilt winning this game. I thought Vanderbilt was going to come in here and start 3-0. I was really hoping for that because, man, it was more of just like a hopeful thing, right? I even said at Wake Forest is going to be a very hard game, and it definitely proved to be. Vanderbilt obviously had a great first half. Second half only ended up scoring 6 points in the fourth quarter. A.J. Swan had the 2 interceptions, which definitely cost him a little bit. I did actually watch this game a little bit and had a good time with it. But, I mean, just Mitch Griffiths or whatever his name is doing actually very good, kind of following Sam Hartman's footsteps, and is doing pretty well with this Wake Forest offense. And, of course, just running the ball. They just ran all over Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt cannot stop them. Desmond Clybourne with 26 attempts for 165 yards. And then Tate Carney with 13 attempts for 117 yards with a 74-yard long touchdown. So crazy stuff there. They just, like I said, were just pretty much ran all over this Vanderbilt defense and kind of wore them out, and that's why they scored 36 points with Vanderbilt only scoring 20. So fun game there, but Vanderbilt obviously just couldn't come out on top, which really sucks. I should have started out with this, actually. The Florida Gators versus McNeese State, even though we didn't have this on our 10 games that we talk about every week, because it's obviously McNeese State. I still want to talk about it. Gators look good. Gators look, even though it's a crappy team, they still won 49-7. Should have been 49-0, but our fourth or fifth string running back fumbled the ball at our own 10, and then McNeese State scored because of that. So, overall looked good, looked very coherent, looked very good as a football team and as a unit as a whole, and it's a great, kind of just warm-up game for the Tennessee game this week, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, baby. Next one we have is Texas A&M. Texas A&M versus Miami, which for some reason is not popping up the way I want it to. Let me kind of type it out so it can pop up for me. A&M versus Miami. This is a game that I actually watched in full. The amount of mistakes that Miami was making was crazy to me. I mean, there was what was it? I think a blocked punt, or I forgot exactly what it was, but there was 3 to 4 things that happened in this game where Texas A&M just had all the momentum. But Miami looked good. And this is a Texas A&M team that is better than last year's team, better than the year before that. This is a good Texas A&M team, obviously with Bobby Petrino being the offensive coordinator there and Jimbo Fisher finally taking a step back and being CEO of the football team. This is a very good Texas A&M team. Miami surprised me. I think Miami is definitely a top 25 team and played like one. Tyler Van Dyke, 21 out of 30 for a 70% completion percentage against a lot of 5 stars in that secondary for 374 yards and 5 touchdown passes. Super impressive. And they didn't have a great running game, but they definitely, when their name got called, they made something out of it. And Texas A&M played decent, good enough to win. But their defense, like I said, just could not stop it, man. DJ Durkin, I don't know what you're doing, bro, but it was a problem. The offensively, Texas A&M definitely scored some points, but the turnovers is kind of what killed them. Obviously Connor Wagman with the 336 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, but those 2 interceptions really hurt him. And I think this is a game about turnovers. Even then, though, Miami made a lot of mistakes, man. And Texas A&M, man, just could not take that momentum and run away with it. It just felt like they would gain momentum, and then Miami would take it right back. Texas A&M would gain momentum because Miami did something, and then Miami would gain it right back. And then once the interceptions started happening, it was kind of just full-on, Miami. Very, very impressive win by Miami. I had Texas A&M winning this game because I thought they just were more talented. Miami proved me wrong, and they played a really good game. I'm very impressed with what Miami did against this Texas A&M team, so big shout-out to them. Next game we have is Ole Miss versus Tulane. Tulane did not have Michael Pratt playing in this game. I picked Ole Miss winning, even with Michael Pratt being the quarterback for Tulane. And if Michael Pratt was the quarterback for Tulane, Tulane would have beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss wins 37-20. Don't let that score mess with you. This game was like a 3-point game. It was insanely close going into that fourth quarter, and then Ole Miss finally started kind of running away with it. But, dude, I mean, Let's give a big shout out to Kai Horton. Okay, obviously a very costly pick, right? But he played good for the most part. Only if I think it was a 40% completion percentage. But listen, this kid coming in here playing a SEC defense. It's not a very good SEC defense, but still coming in here playing an SEC defense. I believe they have their new defensive coordinator is the old Alabama DC, isn't he? I could see his face with the beard. I can't remember his name. But he's the new DC for Ole Miss. He's not a bad DC. And Kai Horton played really well, man, for getting his name called like that. Mekhi Hughes did great in the backfield for him. They had stuff going on, and it was a very good game. Tulane was actually leading at halftime. And then, just Ole Miss, Tulane couldn't do anything offensively in that second half. A big shout out to that Ole Miss defense for obviously adjusting at halftime and doing some big things there. Just unreal game, very fun to watch. Jackson Dart, like I said, though, played very, very well with the 63% completion percentage at 17 out of 27 attempts, 2 touchdowns, and 267 yards. So big game from him. It's also really weird seeing Spencer Sanders being a backup there. Just feels very strange. I don't know, man. Poor guy. He could be a starter in a lot of other places. Just very interesting that he decided to go there when Jackson Dart was obviously going to be the quarterback. I didn't understand that. And then isn't there another guy there too? Is it not? Oh my God, who's it? Not Peyton Thorne. Where's Peyton Thorne at? I don't know. But they have another quarterback there from Ole Miss that transferred in, and he didn't start either. So just really interesting thing going on down there in Mississippi, but a fun game though. And they have a good quarterback room is what I'm trying to say. So interesting stuff. Ole Miss got the win, and I predicted them to win. Notre Dame versus North Carolina State, another game that I watched a lot of. There's a lot of games going on at that time. I believe this was a 12 o'clock game. They had a 2-hour rain delay though. That's what it was. 2-hour rain delay, which screwed up the whole first half of the Miami and Texas A&M game. That's what it was. So I watched a lot of this game. North Carolina State did great. Listen, North Carolina State's my second favorite college football team. They've always been. I don't know why. I've just always liked them. Ever since UCF, I think we talked about this last week. I don't like UCF ever since the 2017 national championship thing. I just didn't like them anymore. North Carolina State's just a team that jumped out at me. I like how physical they are as a team. They're my ACC team. Obviously, I'm a Gator fan, but I'm just saying. They're my second favorite football team. Love what they did. They did great in this game. They gave Sam Hartman a run for his money, especially in that first half, and did great in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Notre Dame started really running away with it, and this North Carolina State defense kind of started falling apart. And North Carolina State just could not get anything going on offense. Brennan Armstrong, I love him as a person, and it's cool to see a left-handed quarterback. But he had 3 interceptions in this game, 3 costly interceptions. Just kind of started falling apart there, especially late with 46 completion percentage, 22 out of 47 passing, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, those 3 interceptions, which gave him a 56 QBR. Not great, not what you want to see, but overall, really good job by this NC State defense. That's why I love watching this team, man. They're just so physical and some big, big hits in this game. Really fun to watch. But Sam Hartman's an absolute monster. Great game by Notre Dame. I think I predicted this game. I had Notre Dame winning this game. But I was really excited to see what North Carolina State did. Sam Hartman, 15 out of 24, 62 completion percentage, 286 passing yards, and 4 touchdowns. And great running game from Notre Dame as well, which they didn't really have early on. And then started really wearing out that Wolfpack defense. Stanford versus USC. I don't even know why I picked this game. I could have did the Colorado game and Nebraska, but I picked this one. USC, there's not much to say about this. USC is just a great team, and Caleb Williams is one of the best quarterbacks I've seen in a hot minute. Let's just say that. This kid is just unreal. Scary. He's more talented than Joe Burrow. I mean, this guy, LSU fans are getting mad at me. I don't care, bro. Joe Burrow's a great quarterback, but the only reason he flourished like he did in college is because of the system he was in. And listen, Caleb Williams is in a great system. I'm not saying that the system's not helping him, but this kid's just so talented, dude, and just an absolute monster. I mean, scoring 20, they only scored 7 points in the second half and still won 56-10. Just let that sink in. Because Miller Moss came in. And, just wild stuff from USC. They're scary. Iowa versus Iowa State. I picked Iowa to win this game, and they did by 7 points. I wasn't able really to watch this game. But from looking at the stats and stuff, it was a very fun game to watch. And Iowa State scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. And Iowa pretty much did have control over this entire game, from pretty much front to end. From beginning to end, but Iowa State did score 10 points in that fourth quarter, and I guess we're wanting to have a little comeback. Cade McNamara, 12 of 22, 123 yards on 1 interception. A little rough. And I know that Iowa offensive coordinator obviously said he wants to average 25, or was it 20? I think 25 points a game. Not looking too good. Scored 24 points in the first game, and you're scoring 20 points here in the second. Not what you want. So very, very interesting. But great game by Iowa. Iowa just doesn't really look any different. Their offense just kind of looks the exact same. Oklahoma State versus Arizona State. I had, of course, this was at Arizona State, which is why I wanted to talk about this game and predict it, just because I thought it was a very interesting game. Oklahoma State wins 27-15. Arizona State didn't do bad in the first half. They were actually, I believe, winning at halftime. Oklahoma State just came in and just played a great second half. Listen, Oklahoma State's very interesting, man. I mean, they forever, for 15, however long Mike Gundy's been there, they've always been a 10-win football team. I think they can win maybe 10 games, maybe 9 games this year. I haven't looked at their schedule. These past couple years have been really on a downslope, and I don't really know why. They've lost some coordinators, they've lost some people on the staff, they lost some great football players on offense and defense. But it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Gunnar Gundy played quarterback in this game. 5 of 7 for 32 yards and 1 touchdown. Is that Mike Gundy's kid? What? That's dope. That's dope. So great game, obviously, by Oklahoma State, and I'm cheering for it, man. I've always liked Oklahoma State. UCF and Boise State. One hell of a game. I picked UCF winning this game. I thought this game was going to be a little bit of a runaway for UCF, and it wasn't. A last-second field goal by C. Boomer. 40-yard field goal. Sneaked it through and won the game. Won the game 18-16. Crazy football game. Crazy fourth quarter. Unreal. Just awesome game. Boise State, I try to obviously go for the 2-point conversion. Just didn't get it. Obviously, it failed, which is what gave UCF the opportunity to go for the field goal and then, obviously win. It would have been tied if they would have got the 2-point conversion. So good try by Boise State. Great defense, obviously, on that 2-point conversion, and UCF runs away with it right there at the end. Crazy stuff. So I believe we got 2 more games. Oregon and Texas Tech. The upset that I called did not happen. Oh, man, hold up. This hurts. I don't like Oregon. I don't. Never did, never will. I really did think Texas Tech had this one. It looked like they did. Oregon worked some magic in that fourth quarter. This was such a fun game. Unreal. Craziness from beginning to end. I told you guys, everybody, it seems like most of the college football world was just not looking at this game and not paying attention to it. And I'm so glad that I did, because I knew this was going to be an absolute unreal game. Texas Tech made a lot of mistakes in this game. The big one that I have written down here that I remember, Texas Tech quarterback Tyler Schlaw, whatever. They were in the red zone down by 2, and he fumbled it and gave it to Oregon. I remember watching that live, and my heart just dropped. And you know what's crazy? Most of these mistakes by Texas Tech happened in that fourth quarter. Tyler Schlaw threw 3 interceptions. Everything just fell apart. And look, I think people now are looking down upon Oregon, thinking that Oregon's a bad football team now. They're not great. Oregon found a way to win. Their defense stepped up. They did big things. They forced Texas Tech to make mistakes in that second half and in that fourth quarter. That's what a great football team does. I think Oregon's going to win the Pac-12 this year. Or not, sorry, no. They got USC. I take that back. I think Oregon's going to be a great football team this year, and I think they're going to do a lot of big things. I think they're definitely going to make the Pac-12 championship. They're going to do big things. Just obviously, I feel so bad for Texas Tech because they should have had this. This should have been an upset. I was waiting for it. I was hoping it was going to happen. And then once the fumble happened, once the interceptions were happening, I was like, it's over. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt so bad. Hurt so bad. So I had Texas Tech getting the upset, and they just didn't make it happen. Now, next game we have is Texas versus Alabama. Crimson Tide, baby. Alabama loses 34-24 in a stunner by Texas. The Texas football team in this fourth quarter were unreal. They were unreal, scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter against a Nick Saban Alabama team and Bryant-Denny Stadium. I mean, Quinn Ewers was having a field day, throwing the ball everywhere, taking deep shots, more deep shots than we've seen from him. That's what people say is his biggest thing. They're like, yeah, his deep shots can be a little inaccurate. This guy was hitting these deep shots, dude. And they were more physical than Alabama. I thought Alabama was going to win this game. Okay. Let's talk about Texas first. I think Texas is going to go on. I think they're going to win the Big 12. I think they're going to do a lot of big things. I think they're going to make the college football playoff this year. I really do. They're an insanely good team. To beat Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium by 10 points is just unreal. When it comes to Alabama, last week you guys heard me talk about this. I had Alabama winning the national championship this year. I still do. They need to figure out this quarterback situation. When you go against teams like Texas and teams like Georgia, which you're going to have to face again, they're going to stop the run. And when you're a one-dimensional team like Alabama's trying to be running the football, you've got to control the line of scrimmage. And this Texas defensive line controlled the line of scrimmage for most of this football game. And as Alabama, you have to have a quarterback that can sit back and hit some deep shots here and there. You have to have a game manager at the quarterback position, and you just don't have that. Jalen Milroe is not a game manager. He doesn't know how to make the right checks. He doesn't know how to just take care of the football. He doesn't know how to make safe throws. Every throw he was making in this game was scary. I mean, we were just like, whoa. It was just like I was sitting there with my dad watching this game. Every time he'd throw the ball, even on the completed passes, we're like, dude, relax. I mean, listen, he was 14 of 27. That's a 52% completion percentage, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. I'm surprised he didn't throw more than 2 interceptions. I mean, this kid was just throwing some scary, scary footballs. Let's see some of these other guys. The Tanner kid, I think his name's Tanner. He came from Notre Dame. With the offensive coordinator and Tommy, what's his name? Tommy Lee. I think that's his name. The young guy, the like 5-star quarterback that came in, you have options at quarterback. This was a 3-way quarterback competition throughout the entire fall camp. That means it's very close. Nobody stood out. So why Nick Saban didn't give another chance to another quarterback is very, very interesting. And Jalen Milroe is very athletic. He's very fast. He can definitely be very scary in the run game. But you need a quarterback that can make the right checks for this offensive line and be a leader on this offense. And Jalen Milroe just isn't that. He just isn't that. He is not an Alabama starting quarterback. So even though these backup quarterbacks don't have the legs, and really, to be fair, not many quarterbacks have the legs that Jalen Milroe has, but even though the backup quarterbacks may not be as athletic and may not threaten teams with their legs, if they could just make safe throws, throw when you ask them to, make good checks at the line of scrimmage, and lead this offense as like a leader and a commander for this football team, Alabama is winning the national championship. And I think that Nick Saban's going to figure that out. Just because there's one loss, everybody's, oh, Nick Saban's over. The franchise is done. The dynasty, this is it. This is it. It's going downhill. Oh, well, even though I don't mean that they're going to be 8 wins. I mean they're going to have like 10 wins and they're barely going to make the SEC championship. They're not going to be dominant anymore. No, they're going to be dominant. As long as Nick Saban's at Alabama, he's going to be dominant. He's going to be a national title contender every single year. Stop. Alabama can still win the national championship. I still think that they're going to win the national championship. I think it's going to be a huge, huge year for Bama and a huge turnaround. Once they get a quarterback in there that can be a game manager, who that is, I don't know. But I know that there's a guy in that quarterback room of like 5 quarterbacks who can be a better game manager than Jalen Milroe because he just did not look good. And it'd be different if they were at Texas, in Austin, but they're in Bryant-Denny Stadium. He just looks so uncomfortable back there. And I get this is a great Texas defense, but come on, bro. I just don't like Texas either. Texas sued my local high school because we were using their logo and it just became a big thing. So, I don't like Texas because of that. So, we're the Harmony Longhorns, and they were just like, oh, you're using our logo, you're using our colors. Became a big thing, so annoying. Alabama, dude, people need to stop playing, dude. Alabama's a great organization. They're going to figure this out, and Alabama is going to they're going to figure out this quarterback situation 100%. So be ready for that, for sure. A big game I want to talk about that we didn't, let's talk about what my record is at the end. Okay, so week 1 record was 4-6. Not very pretty, but it's week 1. You don't know teams. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what to expect from teams. I have 1 win over Wake Forest. That's a loss against Wake Forest and Vanderbilt. I have a win on the Iowa game. I have a win on the Ole Miss game. I have a win on the Auburn game. What did we talk about? We haven't talked about Auburn in California. Hold up. Where's the Auburn game? Did we not talk about the Auburn game? Notre Dame. Yeah, we didn't talk about it. Auburn and Cal. Auburn and California. Auburn goes into California and gets the win. Is it gonna work for me? No. I didn't watch this game because it was mad late. It was like 12 o'clock or like 1 a.m. It was a 14-10 win over California. Huge defensive game. Crazy. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know nothing about Cal. I don't know how good Cal truly is. I just knew Auburn is the more talented football team, and I expected them to get. The one thing I was worried about is they were taking that 2,000-mile trip to California from Alabama, and I was a little worried about that. The jet lag, it does take a toll on players, but a great game by Auburn on getting the win. It's just this is one of those games you just want to win. Just win it. Move on to the next thing, get into SEC play, get past this, and they did. So, great win by Auburn. So, that is, once again, 1 win over the Iowa game, 2 wins because I predicted the Ole Miss game, 3 for the Auburn game, 4 for UCF, 5 for Oklahoma State, and 6 for USC. So, I'm 6-4 because that's 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 4 loss. So I was 6-4 this week, which puts me at a total of, so what would that be? I was 4-6 and then 6-4. You boys 10-10. You know, we're 10-10 right now. All right, it's not horrible. We're now at 500, right? And now is when we need to start kind of getting to more consistency. Okay, we need to get a little more consistent with these predictions and everything, which we should do. We're seeing improvement, right? We were plus 500 this week after that really bad week 1. So we're going to keep getting better and better. So now we can talk about the App State versus North Carolina game. I didn't watch this game, but it was an overtime game, 2 overtime game. Crazy game. This North Carolina defense once again just looked like garbage. I don't know what's going on with that. The App State quarterback, Joey Aguilar, 22 out of 44, 50% completion percentage, but threw for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns. And they just ran all over this North Carolina defense. like crazy. I mean, they had 2 running backs with 42 yards and then 1 running back with 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, this North Carolina defense, I don't know what's going on with them. Drake May played a great game, obviously. Didn't do anything. More the run game looked better. Omari and Hampton ran for 222 yards and 3 touchdowns. Wow. Great game. Don't know where Brooks is at the running back position. I guess he didn't play. Omari and Hampton we knew was a good running back, but I guess Brooks didn't play at the running back position. 222 rushing yards is crazy. That's what kind of won them this game. But yeah, fun game, fun double overtime. We love to see that. There's always a sneaky game each week that, you kind of miss. That's really good, and that's what happened to me. All right, let's talk about games this week. Games this week that we're going to predict. I think I picked 10 games again. It was a lot harder this week. The slate isn't the prettiest, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 games. There's some good games in here, though. It's more of like, the slate might not look pretty, but there can be some dangerous stuff for sure. So we're going to start it off strong with Penn State at Illinois. Brett Bielema hopefully works some magic here. I don't think he will, though. I mean, that Penn State quarterback, what was his name, dude? I cannot think of his name right now. Drew something. Looks good. Making a lot of big plays. He's looking very consistent, and that's good for a young quarterback. Obviously, every young quarterback's going to have his lows and is going to have, sparks here and there, but he's looking very, very consistent, which is good to see from a young quarterback. Penn State's looking good. Do I still believe in the hype? No, I don't. I got to see it. This would be a very good road win for him, though. I have Penn State getting the win. Louisville versus Indiana. Going to be a very interesting game. Indiana hasn't been looking terrible. Defensively looked good against Ohio State. Once they kind of get this, obviously they had a win this past week, but once they start to really get this offense going, they can be a good team. Louisville's just looking really good. I have Louisville winning. It's at Indiana, though, man. I mean, this is tough. If it was at Louisville, I'm taking Louisville 100%. I just don't trust this Indiana offense. I'm going to go Louisville here. I don't trust this Indiana offense. LSU versus Mississippi State, a 12 o'clock game, which is very interesting for this slate that we have this week. But we got a better SEC game, baby. Stop playing, baby. We're going to get to that in a little bit. LSU versus Mississippi State. I have LSU winning this football game. This happened last year. Brian Kelly looked horrendous against FSU week 1. Then they went off to be a 10-win. I think it was 10 or 11. I think it was 10 wins. Dominant football team. Looked really, really good. I feel like that's going to be the same case this year. LSU is going to dominate again this year and look very, very good throughout and consistent. They're going to figure out the football team. Brian Kelly's a great football coach. He's going to do that for his guys. Even though they're going to Mississippi State and Starkville, cowbells going crazy, which is probably the most annoying sound in the world. Don't know how you can coach there or play there. That's just, or even go to the games. It just sounds agonizing. But I think LSU is going to go in there and get the win. Jaden Daniels is going to have a great game. Kansas State versus Missouri. Pate State's going there. Pate State train. Whoop, whoop. Kansas State versus Missouri. People are really hyping this game up to be like more of like a scary, good game for Missouri. I don't think so. I have Kansas State winning this game. Missouri just does not look good. Kansas State's offense is just so pretty. So pretty, baby. Love to see it. They just look really, really good and coherent, and just a great football team and great offense. I'm going to go Kansas State winning that game. Might be a little close in first half. Kansas State's going to pull away late. If it was I don't know, because Kansas gets cold too. But I was going to say if it's like one of those cold early kickoffs, in Missouri, because at Missouri can be, because at Missouri's kind of a scary environment. Missouri does get pretty loud, and for some reason, maybe I'm just a Gator fan because Missouri can scare us sometimes. Because we usually play Missouri in November. The Florida boys don't like the 50-degree weather, and it's usually like a 12 a.m. or 11 a.m. kickoff game in that area, local time, and it's just, we always lose at Missouri, or at least they give us a run for our money, so maybe I just have PTSD. Minnesota versus North Carolina. I just picked this game because I feel like Minnesota can definitely kind of keep it close early on, especially after North Carolina really struggling against App State there. North Carolina is going to win this game because of Drake May and because of those 2 running backs that North Carolina have. that they have. But I feel like Minnesota, they can keep it close for a little bit, but North Carolina is going to pull away, especially since it's at Carolina. Carolina, not North Carolina, because they beat South Carolina, baby. Oklahoma versus Tulsa. The reason I picked this game is they're going to be at Tulsa. Tulsa is not a bad football team. Oklahoma's looking really good this year. I feel like this is going to be a big statement win for Oklahoma. Really excited to see this one. I'm probably going to watch it because it's a 3:30 game. Very excited to see what they do here. I like Oklahoma. Going to be going to the Oklahoma and Iowa State game on the 30th. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope they get a good win here. Kind of keep the train rolling. Really excited to see what they're building there. Just from the coaching staff down to the players. Really building this foundation for the Sooner Nation and kind of working on the culture there. Kind of, I don't know. This is definitely one of those slow rebuilds, I would say. Oklahoma's they're going to lose some rough games this year, maybe even next year. But once they kind of start getting the train rolling, I feel like they can be a dangerous team again, a consistently dangerous team for sure. Tennessee, Florida, we're going to get to that last. BYU versus Arkansas. This is a very interesting game. I'm very excited to see this one. Won't be really watching it because I'll be at the Gator game this weekend, but this is going to be very fun. BYU looking dangerous. BYU looking pretty good, obviously, starting out 2-0. And we have Arkansas at 2-0. Arkansas looked a little rough last week. Offensive line, they really got to help out KJ Jefferson. Defensively, a little rough. I'm going to take talent, and I'm going to take home field advantage for Arkansas. It's a night game in Arkansas, in Fayetteville. Hopefully that has some kind of impact. BYU looks good, man. If BYU can keep this defense on their heels, BYU is going to win this game. But I need this Arkansas defense to step up, make some plays, get some turnovers, and set up their offense in good field position so KJ Jefferson can kind of work his magic and this Arkansas offense can get going. Wyoming and Texas. Listen, I think Texas is going to win this game, but Wyoming is a very scary, good team. Obviously had a huge upset week 1. Who do they play? Who do they upset week 1? Texas Tech, I think, is who it was. This Wyoming team is very good. Wyoming's kind of been on the uprise these past couple years. Really like what they're building there. They're going to surprise Texas, especially after a big win against Alabama. Expect Texas to come out and be like, whoa, what's happening? But, of course, it's going to be popping in Austin. I mean, it's a home game, night game. It's going to be going crazy there. It might be a little slow to start out, but these Texas players are too good. They're too good of a football team to throw this one out and lose this game. Texas is going to run away with it. It's probably going to be a 21, 4-touchdown win. But early on, it's going to be a little rough, so kind of keep an eye on that. I think for that game, I have Texas winning that one. Colorado State and Colorado, where College Game Day is going. Don't know why Colorado is going to win this game, and it's not even going to be close. It's at Colorado. It's a 10 p.m. football game. I believe they're in Mountain Time, aren't they? Are they Mountain Time? Or are they Pacific Time? I don't know. Anyway, it's like 8 or 7 over there when it does happen, but it's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where I am. I'll be listening to this game on the way home from the Tennessee game, Florida and Tennessee game. Colorado's going to win this game, though. It's not even going to be close. I don't know. I see why College Game Day is going there, but it's just kind of like, it's just kind of stupid to me. There is plenty of other good games to go to this week, and then you're going to choose that. Once again, I get why the slate's not the best, but just very interesting choice. I have Colorado winning that game. Great job, by the way, what Deion Sanders is doing there. Huge win against Nebraska. Crazy. Even though Sims looked like garbage out there at quarterback, great job by Colorado in that game. Tennessee versus Florida, baby. Woo! Yes, sir. Stop playing. My first trip to the Swamp this year, Tennessee versus Florida. God, I hate Tennessee. Week 1 against Utah, I talked a lot of crap, and I ate my words. I also talked a lot of crap saying that LSU was going to destroy Florida State. That didn't look too pretty either. So I'm being very quiet. I'm not on social media. I'm not talking crap. I'm not posting memes, but I hate Tennessee. God, I hate Tennessee, dude. You know that video of the guy, and he's like talking about Tennessee. He's like, God, bro. Well, he's from Alabama. I think he's from Alabama. He's a football player, and he's like, I just hate Tennessee, man. He's like, they got that throw-up orange. It's just that it's ugly colors. He's like, the mascot's a dog. I don't like dogs. I'm not a dog person. It's like I totally understand that guy right now. I hate Tennessee. I hate everything about Tennessee. Their orange is a pretty ugly orange. Just don't like them. Just don't like Tennessee. Tennessee, man, great football team. Really fun offense. Josh Heupel is obviously an offensive guru, knows what he's doing there. But Joe Milton's been looking a little rough. Throwing a lot of screens off to the side. Not doing great downfield, even against where they play, Austin PA or P. Well, I don't know who it was, right? Some crappy team, and they were struggling. It was like 13-10 at halftime, or 6-13 at halftime. Wild. And then, of course, they won like, 50 or, no, it was 30-13 or something. Joe Milton's looking a little rough. Don't know if they're holding back. I don't know. But Tennessee's not as good as they were last year. And a lot of that has to do with quarterback play. Defense has a lot of holes in the secondary. So let's talk about Tennessee offense versus Florida defense first. Tennessee's offense, like I said, really struggling. Really, really relying on that run game. And they're going to have to run the ball to beat Florida because this Florida secondary is looking very good. Of course, you look at week 1, they let up that big pass play to start the game. But other than that, they've only had in total in these past 2 games, I know they played McNeese State. Take away that first big, busted coverage play, Florida's only let up like 170, 180 passing yards in 2 games. Tennessee's probably going to have that in this game, maybe 150, probably around 150 passing yards. What Florida needs to do is stop the Tennessee run and put pressure on Joe Milton. Excuse me, I'm sorry. They have to make Joe Milton throw this football and air it out. If they don't, Florida's probably going to win this football game. And at least they're going to dominate that side of the ball and dominate that line of scrimmage. They have to stop the run. You go to Florida's offense versus Tennessee's defense. Tennessee's defense, their secondary, is still pretty garbage. Thing about Florida is we don't have a passing game. Our route trees aren't good. We have great receivers and great weapons, and I love Billy Napier. Billy, I love you. You're a great CEO. You know how to coach a football team, but we need an offensive coordinator, and you know how to have a great run game. But the passing plays just aren't. They're great passing plays for like 2010, but they're not good passing plays for 2023. We need some kind of air raid in this offense, right? I don't know if players are going to get open. I don't. With this route tree, I don't know if they're going to. If we ran an offense, but I don't know though. Go back to Tennessee last year, Tennessee versus Florida. Billy Napier played like an empty set spread offense. I mean, we were throwing the ball. Anthony Richardson had 463 passing yards, something crazy like that. And we were throwing the ball everywhere. And then we went back to our like little play action thing in the pistol format that we do. Makes no sense. If Billy Napier comes out empty set, spreading the ball around, from sideline to sideline, we win this game. But I don't think he's going to. There's nothing that tells me he's going to. We have to run the ball. It can't be like week 1. We have to run the ball. So Florida defense and Tennessee defense is pretty much in the exact same boat. Stop the run, make the quarterbacks throw the ball. Because of that, I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I think people are expecting this game to be 20s, 30s, maybe even like a 40, whatever it might be. I think this game is going to be teens and we're talking late teens, 18, 17 points, and then early 20s, we're talking 21, 20 points. Maybe 24-point game. So how do I think this is going to go? Well, it's at Florida. It's a night game in the swamp. Florida fans almost sold out against McNeese State, which is very impressive. Student section is going to be popping. I'm going to be there, so my voice is going to be gone. Kirk Herbstreit's going to be in the building with Chris Fowler. All this points toward upset. What do I think is going to happen? I'm making this prediction live. I really don't know. Man. I mean, everything is pointing toward a Florida upset. this is where it's very tough to do. This game can go two ways. If Florida can run the football for more than 150 yards, 200 yards, I have Florida winning 17-14. If Florida cannot run the ball for more than 150, 200 yards, I have Tennessee winning this game 24-10. Tennessee's going to gain that momentum and run away with it is what I mean by that. And great field position, obviously. A lot of 3-and-outs for this Florida offense if we cannot run the ball for more than 150 yards. We'll see what happens. That's my prediction. It's going to be based off that one stat. Can we run for more than 150 yards? That's not even a lot. That's really not a lot at all, right? But if we can do that, I feel like we'll have enough momentum to throw around the ball a little bit and do play action and kind of keep that defense balanced. See what happens. Tennessee, what is their stat that I think will win them the game? If they can run the ball for more than 150 yards. Both teams have to run the ball here. That's my prediction. We can run the ball. Like I said, I think we win 17-14. If we cannot run the ball, 24-10 is going to be the final score with Tennessee taking it. So we'll see what happens. That's my prediction for the Tennessee and Florida game. But since I got to make a prediction because I guess we need to for the record. I'm going to take Florida. I think we're going to be able to run the ball, but it's such a toss-up. This game's such a toss-up, but just for the sake of doing it, I'll say Florida's going to win it. So there you go. Those are the predictions for week 2. We'll see what happens, man. Like I said, I'm very excited to be in the swamp for the first time this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really excited to dive into all that. You guys let me know your predictions out of those 10 games. Who do you have winning? Why? What was your reaction to week 1 college football? Week 2 college football. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun with it? You guys let me know. But yeah, really do appreciate you guys watching the podcast, man. I think that's going to be it for this episode. You guys let me know what you want me to talk about next week and the week after that and all that fun stuff. You guys just let me know, and we will dive into whatever you guys want me to talk about, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I love y'all, man. I'll see you guys next week. You guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you then. Stay safe. Later. Woo.